everybody, my dad thinks his podcast is amazing, so please subscribe, give it 5 stars or whatever, and maybe he'll finally stop talking about it. Anyways, welcome to Sober At.
Welcome back to the podcast. I'm Ryan. This is Jess. We are sober as fuck. This week is just going to be us kind of doing a little catch up and announcing some exciting news. Over the next couple weeks, though, we do have another author coming on, which is really cool. And also a former Major League Baseball player, which is pretty badass. Jess, why don't you get us kicked off with the trigger warnings?
Yeah, just quick trigger warning. We talk about substance abuse, addiction, self-harm, mental health, eating disorders, all of the stuff that gets you down and out. So if you're starting to feel some way, we're not offended if you log off. But if you stick around, be advised. I'm going to go ahead and talk about our website.
Okay.
I know you like my little shoulder shimmy shake.
Yeah.
It's like when I get happy about something, I...
Go ahead and discuss. You have worked your literal ass off for this thing for a while, which is really badass.
So we have developed a website, and it is Noon, Noon. The website is our-noon, Noon.com, ournoon.com, and it stands for New Outlook on Now. There are a lot of different things that played into the name of it. It just sort of happened serendipitously. Like we were looking for names and Noon popped up, and my brother called our mom Noonie. Lily called my mom Noonie.
Noon Dog. It's very fitting.
We have for a whole other podcast. There's a whole thing behind the name Noonie. But, it was close to my heart. You liked it too. And then, we came up with New Outlook on Now. It just it just seemed right on so many different levels. You know what I mean? And there's a whole play on midday reflection. So just something, it just felt right. And what drove this was this podcast has done so much for us. It's done so much for other people. And when we started this podcast, that's all it was going to be. Like, let's just get on a microphone and talk about dumb shit and see what happens. Right.
It's turned into this whole fucking thing. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. And we've learned more than I think our listeners. We've had so many amazing people on the podcast all over the world. And it taught us a lot about ourselves, about our marriage. And it taught us a lot about just the journey, like recovery, mental health, community. So we sat down and we were talking about it for a while, but thought, what if we, I know there are all these different spaces, but what if we had a one-stop shop space for everything? Like people could go to it and you don't have to pay like a monthly subscription, and it doesn't have to have this salesy, feel to it. And people can still read about us, about blogs, and listen to the podcast and share their own stories if they want to share their stories, and provide free resources. So it's just, one website you go to if you're feeling some way. And that is how I birthed Noon from my loins.
It's pretty tight. If you haven't already checked it out, we've kind of released out a few reels
live
and stuff like that on Instagram. So we've changed some things up. I mean, it's just like anything else. Once you dive into it, you're like, I'd like to change that or whatever. But the resources are just absolutely amazing. If you know anybody that does need help, or is looking for help, or you yourself, anything like that. It's like Jess said, it's like a one-stop shop. It's unreal. Stuff for the podcast is on there. People reach out to us all the time for merch. We were just sending them, hey, here's what we can do. Now we actually have a store.
We have a store. We have an online
store. And Jess is updating things literally almost daily. So we're trying to work with some other platforms as well, which is kind of neat, bringing some new stuff in. We're going to offer coaching, which is really cool. We already have some coaches on board.
It's not up and running yet because there's a lot of there's a lot of legal and liability stuff. The one thing I do want to make clear is our website. We don't give medical advice. No one is a therapist. No one is a doctor. This really is a space where you come for yourself. Like, I think that's it. All you have is the now, and it's for you to navigate how you feel and what you need in your own time. And trust me, we both work in compliance, so we have all the terms of use and all the things. And it's an inclusive space. That was the other thing, is we want people to feel like they can come there no matter who they are, no matter what their situation is. Like I said, we're not going to have any sort of like subscription. Obviously, coasting. Yeah. Obviously, coaching will come at its own price because these coaches, you know, they got to eat, guys. They got to eat. Right. The merch, obviously, it costs money for us to make, but we try to keep it low markup. So there are things that you can buy into. But as far as the website, we're not going to have a subscription based thing. It just kind of goes against everything that we stand for. But we're going to start doing, having newsletters that get sent out. And we want it to be driven by you. Like, we want you to share your stories, and I'm looking for hella feedback because I'm winging it. Okay. Like everything else, I'm winging it.
We've been winging it since day one. So, I mean, and here we are. So
yeah.
it's pretty
So
badass.
If there's anything that you can think, any other resources, you know, the resource page right now has everything from resources for addiction, and then even just like gambling and alcohol, veterans, the LGBTQIA plus community, eating disorders, mental health, suicide hotline, all the things. So yeah, I'm really excited. I'm not going to lie. It's one of those things where I've like taken a step back and been sort of in awe of myself that I created it. Now, the concept and everything is us. When I say I created it, I mean just the website itself, the coding and stuff. The concept of all of this has been us together. But yeah, I was actually, so we both started therapy over the past few months, and I was talking to my therapist about that today. I said, you know, this is not something that I ever imagined myself doing. I've done performing arts my whole life, so I'm not going to say I didn't know I was a creative person, but not in the sense of like graphic design, you know? And since starting the podcast and now the website, it's been really neat. And it's given me a really good ego boost in all the best ways. Like, we've had tons of guests on the podcast talk about how with creating something, building something that helps you and helps other people is a huge key component to any sort of like mental health or recovery journey. And I'm not saying it hasn't been stressful. I'm not saying that it's easy, but like, I'm really fucking proud of myself for that.
You should be. It's fucking awesome. I love it.
And it has challenged my ADHD and my OCD like a motherfucker. Okay? Like,
yeah, I mean, there's times I've got to tell you, hey, it's good. Like, it's really good, or it's enough. I think it's time.
Or it's time to move on to something else, right? So that was another thing I talked about in therapy today was the Pomodoro technique.
Yep.
So I've talked about this before. I won't go into too much detail, but like the shower thing, you know, it's an all or nothing. I either will procrastinate taking a shower because it's too much, or when I get in the shower, it's like a 45-minute shower because I have to do all the things. It's difficult for me to be like, get in, wash your face, wash your body, and get out. Like, wash the funk off. That's not news to anybody. Like, the majority of our listeners struggle with that too. But he was like, you know, you absolutely can do that. And the world is set up for neurotypical people in the sense that we teach people you have to complete every task. And I'm like, well, if I don't complete the task, I won't go back to it. He's like, yes, you will. You've just programmed your brain, and that's your comfort zone. And with my OCD, it's like you have to do all the things where you feel unbalanced. And hearing him say, like, you don't have to complete every task. I have literally built my life on one task at a time to completion. Like I even tell our daughter, listen, don't get overwhelmed. You just do one thing and do it all the way to completion. Now I got to go back and admit I was wrong.
It's like, like everyone thinks multitasking is like doing something good, but it's actually worse for you to try to multitask. You just do one thing and then you move on from it.
But do you know, like, the ramifications of having to tell a 14-year-old, like, hey, I came to find out recently that maybe the way that I have been programming you to do these things is not the most effective.
You just admit it and move on.
Yeah, and she'll never let me live it down. Every single thing that I tell her to do, she'll be like, are you sure, Mom? Are you sure you don't want to talk to your therapist and make sure that that's the appropriate way to handle it?
Well, at least you get it from somebody.
Right.
Because if I tell you something, it's just in one ear and out the other. So, but someone else validates it's a different story.
Yeah, but that's like, you don't, whatever. Let them,
I'm not searching for credit. I just think it's funny.
Well, and so the challenge that I have right now, and I told you I'm going to need help with this. Like, I need you to be nice about it, right? Is I have to start setting timers. I don't have to do anything, but like.
You get to set a timer. Well, I'm just saying.
I need to set a timer. Like it stresses me out. Like I get physically uncomfortable just thinking about it. Like legitimately, like right now I'm uncomfortable thinking about having to set like a timer for the shower. And my therapist said, it doesn't matter where you are in the shower or whatever task. I use the shower because I feel like the shower is a good metaphor for everything else for like a neurodivergent brain. Mm-hmm. He's like, it doesn't matter where you are in the shower. When the timer goes off, you're done. That sounds miserable. And he's like, and he told me, he said, it is going to be fucking miserable for a while. Like at first it's going to be miserable. It's going to be uncomfortable and it's going to be disruptive. But the whole point is it's a type of like exposure therapy too. Like it gets easier and easier. And then eventually your showers don't take 45 minutes. Like one day you'll just forget to take a shower and you'll take a shower in 10 minutes and you'll be like, oh my God, look me.
Look what I did. Yeah.
Go me,
nice.
Self high five. So that's what I'm working on right now. So just to remind everybody, like this is hard work. I mean, if you're listening to this and it sounds like it's something so easy, then it's because that's not what you struggle with, right? And that's fine. I know we joke about it, but like it's in all seriousness, like it's really fucking difficult for me. Like right now I'm uncomfortable but I know I have to do it.
And you will do it. And everything will be okay.
I'll just stand in the bathroom like this.
Just stand in the shower till the timer goes
No,
off.
that's the point is I can't. Like I have to like turn the shower off and get out.
You have to be distracted or like, no?
No, it is I set a timer.
No, I'm thinking mentally, do you need to be distracted?
I don't think
or are you going to stare at the timer the whole time? I
don't know. I've not done it yet to be determined.
The only reason I say that is because and me and Tyler talked about this. So we've been this 30-day plank thing. We did it for 30 days. Now we're on like 45 days or some shit. And it's a 2-minute plank every day. It's fucking awesome, right? It is now. The first 3 weeks were just dreadful. Brutal. But it was funny because, you get down in it and it's everything in you to not look at that fucking timer. Mm-hmm. Because you think, oh my God, I got 2 minutes done. You look at it and it's like a minute and 2 seconds and you're like, fuck. And you're just dreading the rest of it, right? So what I did was I put a Kendrick Lamar song on and I know when the 2 minutes is. And I do put the timer, but I put it behind me so I can't see it. And I know when my 2 minutes is done. So it's almost like a distraction in my head. Yeah. And now I can do 2 minutes like it's nothing. And a lot of it has to do with you're doing it every day so you get used to it. But It took me a little bit to understand, like, I need that little distraction. Well, that's why I was asking you if you think you need maybe a distraction.
Well, no, I think what I'll have to do is just like set a timer on my phone and put my phone like in the closet and make it like the most like annoying alarm you've ever heard in your life. So I physically have to
get out. Yeah.
Get out of the shower. And the problem is I can't have anybody in the house come in and be like, oh my God, and turn it off. Like it's supposed to be loud. It's supposed to be obnoxious. It's supposed to be annoying. It's supposed to be, it doesn't matter. Like you have soap on your body, rinse that shit off. You have 2 seconds, rinse it off, get out.
That's right.
Oh, God, my stomach hurts.
You'll be fine.
I know I will.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is I know I can do it, right? Like, it's just, it gives me so much anxiety and makes me so uncomfortable. And I can only imagine, like, that's how, because like alcohol was not difficult for me to give up, right? So quitting drinking for me is like taking a shower for you, right? It was like, oh, I need to take a shower. I'm going to go take a shower. I'm like, oh, alcohol's not anything. I mean, alcohol was a little bit harder because it's like a bad normalized, but you see where I'm going with this. Like, I constantly forget that my 1 year is coming up. But for you, or like gambling, I can only imagine that uncomfortable tug of war, it's like the same, right? Like when you're just like, why do I feel this way? Like, this is so ridiculous. Like, it's a fucking shower.
I don't know. I don't think that's a good comparison.
Well, but I mean, like, you struggle more with gambling, right? So do you ever have those moments where like you get that itch of gambling, but then you almost laugh at yourself like it's gambling. Like, it's not a necessity. Like, it's not a part of my routine.
No,
like,
I don't laugh at it. I just
struggling.
I don't know. For me, it's I see it all the fucking time, and I do kind of laugh at it because.
Well, you laugh to cope.
I laugh at it because it's like it's all a hook, right? I mean, it's just trying to hook you into doing shit. But yeah, I mean, I think about it, and I've talked about this before. I literally think about it every single fucking day. But then I journal about it, or talk to you about it, talk to somebody about it, and it all goes away. But it's tough because if you have any alone time, like I have a lot, especially out of town traveling, it's constant, it doesn't stop, and that's why I always got to keep moving, doing something. Something on the TV's got to catch my mind, catch my eyes. I mean, something. I've got to be doing something and it goes away. Usually they say like a craving takes 20 minutes. I don't even think for me it takes that much. Usually about 5 minutes and I'm over it. But
see, mine's the opposite. It's the fact that like I think about things, and again, we'll keep it on the shower thing, but I do this with multiple things. I just use the shower as a whatever. I'll think about it and obsess about it to the point that I can't do anything. It's the exact same thing, just in reverse. Because you'll be like, what have you been doing all day? And I'm like, I've been busy as fuck. And you're like, doesn't look like it, but but in my brain.
Busy doing this on TikTok. That's what you've been busy doing. Sorry.
Do you hear that? See, this is the support I get. No, I'm busy like hyper focused and obsessive about like one little component of the website or one little component of the podcast because it's a little off center or I don't like the way it looks. And again, like that's a good thing overall, but it's not good when it's disruptive. It's the same thing with you thinking about gambling. Like, you have to keep yourself busy so that it doesn't disrupt your day. For me, I have a hard time, like, I don't know why I would rather just not take the shower at all. You know what I mean? There are a lot of people out there going, I know what you mean. I feel you.
Yeah.
What's going on in your life with therapy, Ryan? Tell me about the inner workings of
my therapy's been really good.
You like your lady. You guys are like buds.
Yeah, she's my girl. I like her. She's tough. And she's been through some shit too, which is really cool because I can always bounce something off of her. I don't know. She always just makes me laugh. She doesn't mean to, but she does. And then I always think about stuff if I do something wrong or dumb or crazy. And as soon as I think about her, I laugh and it goes away. I think that's pretty badass.
What are some like
I've talked about before, like traffic. I used to get so pissed and angry in traffic. And now I just think about her telling me, basically, you're an idiot. Who cares? Who gives a shit what they're doing? Maybe they've had a bad day. Maybe they've gotten in a car accident before and you don't know about it. Just listening to her voice in my head is just, it makes me laugh. I don't know why. I don't know
that that's the effect it's supposed to have.
But and I even told her that. I said, it's just so funny because I want to get angry and I just think about you, giving me the tools. I don't know why. It just brings a smile to my face and everything just goes away. Like, well, there you go.
So what's been the most uncomfortable thing that she's made you really look at and do and dive into?
The family stuff has been tough. Just because there's been a lot of stuff going on in my family. So it's one of those things you try to like just push aside, don't worry about it, but you got to hit it head on, which is what I do now. Since being sober, that's what I do. And I try to nip what I can in the bud, and I can't control what they do, but I say my piece or whatever feels right. And that's it. I leave it alone.
You're better at that than I am.
That's many years of wisdom. I guess. Fuck, I don't know.
You're like Yoda.
Yeah. And I'm coming up on my 2 years, which is awesome, but it's, I don't know. It's not scary or anything, but it's like, year 3, now what?
I need to go back and look and listen to like some of our early podcasts, because I think you said this exact same thing about right before your 1 year.
I did. And it's just that time. And it's like everything's on the recovery side. I mean, trust me, I'm fine. I don't feel like gambling. I don't feel like drinking. Although I think about it every day. I don't have cravings. I don't have triggers. But it's this weird sense of, it's not like belonging. I just like everything's just kind of driving me nuts lately. Like even meetings, I don't know why. Sometimes I just get frustrated and I feel like I don't belong here today. And I don't know what it is. I just go on about my day. I don't let it bother me. Don't let it affect me. And I just go on about my day. But I'm still, I'm a 2 or 3 meeting a day guy, which really surprises me being this far into it. I mean, it's going to stay that way. I don't know when it'll change, if it'll change. But for right now, which is what I'm trying to take care of now, it works for me, and that's what I'm going to continue to do.
I think that's the important part too, is like, even though you have these feelings, you're still getting on the meetings, like
100%.
Well, but that's what most people struggle with is, your feelings. That's all they are. I'm not saying for you to ignore them. I'm not saying they're not valid, but if we take our feelings and hold them to the highest standards to be 100% true and factual, then, oh my goodness. I mean, that is how war starts. So I think there's a component of you too that recognizes that just because you feel that way doesn't make it like divine truth. Something that I have always said to you, and now you get it. When you were drinking, you didn't, is I'm like, you don't have to believe it in order for it to be true. Mm-hmm. And I love that. I can't remember where I heard that from, but I heard it one time and I was like, I'm totally like putting that one in the bank and pulling that one out. And I use it every opportunity because it's true. Like, truths are subjective. Like, you don't have to believe something for it to be true.
Yeah.
So you don't even have to believe your brain in order to interpret something as true. Like, I'm sure that of course, that's a space for you. Just because you're bored or just because you're stuck or just because whatever. And I'm not saying that's how you feel. I'm just using the first words that pop in my head. Mm-hmm. It doesn't mean that you need to do something different, or it doesn't mean that you need to stop. So I think that's a really good nugget to take away, that like, even though you're getting frustrated because of whatever, you're still getting on the meetings. And, I need to start calling this psychoanalysis with Jess. But another thing I will say is I have noticed just from being like on the outside that most of the time when someone is feeling that way, like, I just don't feel like this is a space for me, or everything's irritating me, or it's because you're leveling up. It's like that precursor. It's like that feeling you get the week before you go on like a vacation where you're like checked out involuntarily. Like, who really is mentally working the week before a vacation? Yeah. And if you say that you are, you're lying, because when something is on the horizon, like, even if you don't know what it is, when you feel it, it's like you're divorcing yourself from before involuntarily.
Well, I'm still, I still put the work in every day. And when I say the work, I mean the fucking work. Nothing's changed for me in almost 2 years. It's kind of
And you
crazy.
can rely on that. You're like,
Yeah.
no matter how I feel, no matter how stuck I feel, no matter how complacent or I don't know, I'm just not getting these feelings. You know that like no harm is going to come from you getting on meetings,
Mhm.
doing your workouts, eating right, going to bed, getting sleep. Like those are tried and true. And I think that's important too. Like we talk about all these different steps and all these different things, and it can get very muddled. I get like that too. Like I hate puzzles because I'm like, there's so many pieces. Where do I start and how do I finish? When in doubt, get sleep,
Mhm.
drink more water, just incorporate one healthy food, move your body for at least 10 minutes, just like small little things that we know are good for you.
I think rest is the biggest
Sleep.
thing by far. And that doesn't mean when stuff gets hard, you don't fucking quit. You take a break and you rest. And I learned that very early on
Mm-hmm.
that you are going to get worn out. You are going to get fatigue. In sobriety, there is such thing as called recovery fatigue, and that's fatigue. And that's when a lot of people can slip, relapse because they get burnt out on everything. And that was a really good thing to learn kind of early on. And unfortunately you see it all the time, but the good news is a lot of these people come back that hey, this happened and here's why, and they've learned from it and you move on. For me, I feel like I didn't have that option. It was, this is the way the things are going to be, and that's it. So I go through recovery fatigue, seems like 3 times a year. Seems like every 4 months I go through this, and I know I'm going to come out okay on the other side. That's the thing I keep telling myself. Everything's going to be fine. You go through this. It'll be all right. And, now over the past couple times I've gone through this, we've had the podcast, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
So, I can air my shit out on here, which is really nice. And, yeah, that's about it.
I think it's great. I think that your whole mindset is good because we get fatigued with anything in life.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I love you and I want to be married to you forever, but I get bored with you 3 times a year.
I'll tell you what I have not taken a break from is
loving me. I know.
Yeah, that and working out is fucking wild because, and I don't know what it is about it, but I get up early every morning and I get my shit done. I don't know if it's good or bad, but I'm fucking tired. But I'm running a race this Saturday, which I'm excited about. I've worked my ass off the past few months to run this 10K. A little nervous about it. I've been nervous about anything like this in a while.
Because it's new. That's
it's
exciting.
New and different. I've never done this before. I'm just going to show up and be like, hey, I'm ready to run.
I'm going to flash you at the finish line.
Please don't.
I'm gonna put little like Janet Jackson pasties on and be like, woo!
I think it's gonna be neat, but honestly, it's like I was thinking about me and my visualization stuff, but like I was running on the treadmill the other day and like visualizing, running, and it's, I don't know why I like got emotional about it because I was just thinking like you get to the finish and it's just like, oh, here it is again. Now what? You work this hard, you do this. What's going to be the next thing? And that's what I'm already thinking about.
That's also your future tripping, and you've struggled with that forever. I mean, I talked about when we first built our house and we moved in, and I'm like, can you not just like stand? Like, who cares if we have furniture? Oh my God, look at this beautiful house that we fucking built together. And you're like, but the furniture's late, but the pool, but this, but this. And I'm like, okay, but just stop and like bask in what we've created together. Kind of like me reflecting on the website, like what's next? I don't know, but right now I'm really proud of this. Mm-hmm. Like, exist in that moment. It doesn't matter what's next.
No, I know that. I know. I just got to live. I got to live in the now, and not worry about the future, past, whatever.
Just keep living.
Live for today.
Isn't that what
tomorrow will come, and that's when the days start adding up. Which is what happened after my soberversary. Mm-hmm. After my first year, it was, God, I got to get to a year. Got to get to a year. I had to prove it to myself that I could do it. And other people kind of on the back burner, but I really want to prove it to myself. And then I got there and then it's like, well, fuck, now what? And that's when the real work really started, was after that first year. And this whole year has been eye-opening. You're going through that second year, and it's really opened my eyes to a lot of different things, learning a lot of different things. Kind of like you were talking about the tasks. I'm a guy that, every night I write down tasks, what I'm going to do the next day. I check them off. And I was so adamant about getting my shit done. If I uncheck something, it was just the biggest disappointment in the world. And I'm like, I'll just get to it tomorrow.
Listen.
That's huge for me.
Disrupting your routine. I mean, you had one pack of boiled eggs left, and Lily ate them, and
God, it pissed me
you were so mad. And I just laughed at you. I was like,
well, I get mad, but how long does anger actually last?
No, but I'm saying
seconds?
It's anytime anything is disrupted.
It's just my instinct, just to get mad about it.
I mean, you're like standing in the fridge and you're going, where are my eggs?
My fucking boiled
And I
eggs.
said, I gave them to Lily last night because she had cheer tryouts.
Yeah.
So, and I could tell like she was getting to play. I'm like, you need some protein, you need some hydration. And so I was like, I gave them to Lily last night. And you went, are you fucking kidding me? I said, no. Because in our house, like, food is food, honestly. Mm-hmm. Like, at the end of the day, if there's food in this house, no food belongs to anybody. You eat it, whatever. Are you fucking kidding me? I said, yeah, she ate your eggs. Man, I was going to eat those. Well, okay.
Yeah,
is there another pack? Is there another pack? I don't know.
Fucking eggs are like gold nowadays, man.
And I say this, every steward I know, y'all like, when you get frustrated, you're mumblers. So you'll like say whatever, and then as you're walking off into the dishwasher,
that's called getting the last word in. Yeah, I learned that.
It's funny.
Yeah,
it's
that
comical.
From the best. He knows who he is.
Both of your parents.
Yeah,
both of your parents.
Yeah.
Your granddaughter does that too. She walks upstairs. I'm like, what is that? She's like, nothing.
Lily's great about it too. Ugh, that's unreal.
So, with all of that, that's what's going on with us. Mm-hmm. Again, the website, check it out. Like, that's what it's for. We're doing a little bit of rebranding. Sober as Fuck will always be here. We're going to continue it, but everything's going to be under this umbrella of Noon because we want to do things that are way bigger than Sober as Fuck. And to put a little teaser out there, Ryan and I are curating a podcast just for me too.
Mm-hmm. Be on the lookout.
And it's going to be...
That's going to be popular.
It's going to be very different than this one. It's going to make this one look like it's like a fucking Disney movie. And I can't wait.
I'm looking forward to it.
It's going to be raw and real.
Yeah, it's going to be cool.
And you don't get to tell me what to do, sir.
Yeah. And anyway, we are going to do a couple of podcasts as guests, which are going to be kind of cool. So I'll do one for my 2 year. You're going to do one for your 1 year. Mm-hmm. So if anybody has any questions for us that you would like us to answer during those podcasts, please send them to us, direct message through IG, or
we have a new email.
Website. Yeah.
It is newoutlookon@gmail.com.
Boom. Or just go to the website.
But if you want to share your story, if you want us to post your story on the website, on a blog, you can email it to us. It can be anonymous. We won't share any information without your permission. We will be in Texas this summer. If there's anybody out there and you want to meet up, or you want to meet us, or you want to grab coffee or whatever, we would love that.
Cincinnati this weekend.
We'll be in Cincinnati this weekend if anybody wants to meet up. Big race. Lily wants to do signs and shirts, and I've had to rein her back, but we're very proud of you, Ryan. We're very proud
of myself.
Yeah, we got lots of stuff in the pipeline. Our our-noon, NOON.com. Ournoon.com. Go to it, check it out. There's all sorts of good stuff on there. Give us feedback, share it, all the things. We love you guys, and we're really excited for everything we have in the pipeline.
Yep. Time to kick ass.
Nice.
See you guys.
Bye.
If you love the podcast, which I know you do, please like, subscribe,
and hit that notification bell to
Boom.
get notified every time we post.
That's right. Dropping them, baby.